That was pretty good, but it's my turn now.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Once and Always is a Netflix original film that serves the 30th anniversary milestone for the franchise. It was released on Netflix April 19, 2023. Majority of the original actors from the first 3 seasons reprised their roles, minus Officer St. John due to legal trouble, Chewie Train due to her entirely passing back in 2001. Jason David Frank also passed away recently, but before he passed, he had no desire to reprise his role as Tommy Oliver. The film is centered mostly around Zach, Billy, and Min, Trini's daughter. Cat's out the bag on that one. She is Trini's daughter, so I still want my apology. I'm gonna wait to the end of time for my apology. Anyway, the film has mostly positive reviews and giving us backstories of what the original Rangers has been up to and shed some light on the last 30 years. But I will break that down in a bit. But first, let's get into the story of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Once and Always. 1 year ago, Billy and the other Rangers were attacked by Rita Repulsa in a new robot body. This was due to Billy attempting to bring back Zordon, but ended up bringing back Rita and she took over Alpha 8's body. Billy and the rest of the Rangers morph and the Rangers fight Rita and her putties, but they were overpowered. Rita attempted to kill Billy while he was weakened, but Trini the Yellow Ranger jumps in and takes the blast full on and kills her. Later, Zach and Billy go back and forth on telling Min, Trini's daughter, the truth on how her mother died, but she accidentally overhears. We get to the present day and we see Zach has taken over as Min's guardian, and Min has also been training to one day fight Rita. The two head to the cemetery to meet the other Rangers to pay their respects to Trini. However, the others were ambushed by Rita and her robot monsters, Snizzer and Minotaur. Snizzer uses his abilities to paralyze Tommy, Kimberly, and Jason. The 3 are captured and put on Rita's mysterious machine. Zach, Billy, and Min manage to retreat. Min feels that she's ready to take on Rita, but Zach and Billy say that it was Ranger business and they need to work it out. Min calls out Billy, saying that he caused all this, and if it weren't for him, Trini would still be alive. Billy and Zach head to Cranston Technologies, which in secret has a new command center underneath. They are both greeted by Alpha 9. Meanwhile, Rita needs more Ranger energy to power her machine, but she has a plan to draw them out, so she sends putties all around the world. The Rangers activate the Bandora Protocol, which has all Rangers to report their assigned stations. Teleporting in to help, Kat and Rocky were called in. Billy and Alpha made proxy power coins for Kat and Rocky. The 4 Rangers morphed and head to Angel Grove to save civilians. However, Minotaur has a tracking system to where as long as the Ranger stays morphed, they will always find them. Figuring this out, the Rangers demorph and retreat. Back at the command center, they get a call from Adam and Aisha, stating that they were 6 hours away from teleporting range. Feeling down but not out, the Rangers come up with a plan to take Minotaur and Snizzer out of play so they can morph again by exploiting their weaknesses. Meanwhile, Min heads out to save civilians from the juice bar. She attempts to morph with Trini's morpher, but it doesn't work. She was overpowered by the putties until Rocky and Zach shows up and they quickly dispatches the putties. Zach brings Min back to the command center and gives her a talk about what it means to be a Ranger. Rocky, Billy, and Kat set a trap to lure the 2 monsters out, and it works by using their bodies against them by attracting a magnet. The next part of their plan is to sneak on to Rita's palace to free the other Rangers, so they use stealth technology and teleport away. Min sneaks off with the morpher and steals the rat bug. Min finds the monsters and attempts to morph again, but to no avail. She is confronted by Rita and Min attempts to fight her, but is captured in the process. The Rangers sneak on to Rita's palace and dispatches the putties. They then figure out that Rita was building a time portal to go back in time to kill the Rangers before they was recruited by Zordon. The Rangers can't free the others until they destroy Snizzer. Rita and the monsters show back up with Min captured. The Rangers tip to free Min, but it's overpowered by Rita. Rita attempts to kill Billy again, but Min jumps in the way, taking the blast. However, the blast activated Trini's morpher, showing Min Trini's memories. Min is overflowed with yellow energy, signaling that the morpher will now work. All 5 Rangers morph and they fight Rita and her monsters. Rita makes Snizzer grow, prompting Billy to stab her right in the chest, presumably destroying her. Billy and Min call on the Megazord while the other 3 Rangers defeat Minotaur. The other 3 Rangers join Billy and Min and defeat Snizzer. Rita comes back online and activates the portal. The Rangers stop her in time by destroying the machine and Rita at the same time. The Rangers have won, but the other Ranger was still up under Rita's spell and have to go to Aquatar to get the others back to full size. They bid farewell, leaving Zach, Min, and Billy. At the juice bar, Min is now the new Yellow Ranger and receives her communicator. Min apologizes to Billy, however he felt that there wasn't no need. The film ends with old footage from the 2nd season of the original show, paying tribute to Chewie Train and Jason David Frank. This film was a smart move from Hasbro to be its own separate thing from Power Rangers Cosmic Fury. I felt that there wasn't going to be enough time to tell this story in an episode of Cosmic Fury, being that Cosmic Fury will only be 10 episodes long. So Once and Always had to be its own thing. So whoever stood firm and wanted it to be separate, thank you. Where were you during the production of Forever Red in the Legendary Battle? Now, I'm not saying Forever Red was bad. I heard that Forever Red was going to be an hour long, but Bandai or Fox or whoever stood firm and just had it at 30 minutes or whatever. And Legendary Battle, you already know what happened with that. I'm not even going to get into it. One thing I can take away from this was the acting, but I get it. Some have not actually acted in years, and some was newcomers, mainly men. But maybe they was going for that since this is a nostalgia callback to where the show first began. Now there's a lot to unpack here from this 1 anniversary milestone. I've seen this twice while writing this review, so forgive me if this video is longer than I want it to be. So I'm going to start off light, and that's the Rangers themselves. Rocky was the background Red Ranger yet again, even with as far as putting him all the way in the backseat of the Megazord. One saving grace for him is that he did the hardcore finisher, the Minotaur, so I guess he gets points there. One thing I noticed that when he was teleported in, he was wearing a fighter uniform. I feel that this role was meant for Jason, but due to Alton St. John's legal troubles, they just gave it to Rocky, which was dumb in my opinion. They should have just gave him a dojo like they did Adam back in Once a Ranger. Let's just say that it will not give Rocky the respect he deserves. Cass should have had more development in this special. It should have been personal because her husband was kidnapped and she had to leave their son behind to get him back. Also, her and Rita have personal history because Rita put Kat under a spell like Tommy all those years ago. So I guess Soul of the Dragon is canon to the series in a way. I would hope so, due to Kat's lack of development. So Zach has came a long way since his days as a ranger. He actually became a congressman, which makes me realize that's brilliant on making him a congressman and all giving what was supposed to happen in 2025. You would need someone like a ranger alone to negotiate treaties with many alien beings to have Earth to be their home and vice versa. However, since Trini died, he had to step down to take care of men, which makes me wonder if him and Trini were more than friends at one point, because he was the only one that stepped up. It looks like Zach is still trying to get a feel of his new role as a guardian. He has more patience with a teenage girl than I could ever have with a preteen, so I commend him for that. Looks like I was wrong about him being her father, and all he was is just a surrogate uncle, like I said in the previous video of mine. Min is the first in-canon Legacy Ranger, and we could have more like her in the future. However, I feel like Min is nothing like her mom. I remember Trini being cool and calm and not irrational. If it wasn't for Zach and his guidance, Min would have been also killed herself. She did come off as annoying and tried to use vengeance on why she needed to become a ranger, but by the end, she realizes being selfless can bear rewards. This is her coming of age story and her struggles on not knowing the difference of justice and vengeance. Once the opportunity presented itself, she didn't hesitate and put herself in harm's way for others, and she didn't earn the power and to honor her mother's legacy. It is safe to say that Min's father is unnamed due to the statement made from Billy that outside her and her mother, she has no family. I think that it was Richie from season 2 and he just abandoned him, but this is speculation on my part. And if I can be real about it, whoever's Min's father is not that important. It is rumored that Min is set to return in Power Rangers Cosmic Fury, according to IMDb, but it could be a bait and switch, so be on the lookout for that. I was right about Billy on where he was in the past 25 years since Power Rangers CO. Traveling the galaxy, learning and building new things, and being an investor for SPD, no doubt. I don't know when he came back, but he is a successful businessman with Crescent Technologies. While I don't think that having a Power Rangers command center underneath his place of business is the right thing to do. The right or wrong employee could put 2 and 2 together and figure out that he's a ranger, so he might want to move ASAP. So I thought that a villain made rule Rita, but it turns out Billy was the one that actually created her due to him trying to bring back Zordon. Kind of like Hank Pym when he created Ultron. Min did make Billy feel bad about why Trini is dead. You can see that he blames himself every day because of it. I do feel like that he's trying to make amends and clear his guilt on what happened with Trini by burying himself in this work and being the leader of the Power Rangers. Now I see that a lot of people are having a problem with Billy being the leader. It doesn't bother me much, but I did find it weird of him being the center of the Megazord cockpit. I don't know, it just didn't sit right with me. However, it's nice to see Billy back after so long, not gonna lie. I'm not gonna get into why David Yost left the series. I'm gonna let you research that for yourself. By the end, he did find some closure with Trini and forgiveness from men, even though he didn't need it. He also won't give up on bringing back Sordon somehow. Now, it seems I was also right that Billy is still in a relationship with Sestra, the woman from Aquatar. Now, could he have had a child on his own and not told anyone yet? Because if you've been with someone for 25 years and not have a child, it's kind of impossible in my opinion. Or maybe their physiology is not compatible of bearing children or conceiving children or whatever. I'm not going to get into a biology lesson. I'm just, throwing little theories out there. Billy is rumored to reprise his role in Power Rangers Cosmic Fury, according to IMDb. I wonder what his role could be though. We would just have to wait and see. Now, Rita returning opens up glorious opportunities for older villains that the Z-Wave destroyed all those years ago to return. If that information got out to the wrong hands, the results could be catastrophic. What if Zed got a hold of that information? He could rebuild his army from the ground up and be more powerful than before. I believe once Rita took over Alpha 8's programming, it made her more smart and ruthless. Kenny is the one that gets in her way. Her plan was simple, to go back in time and kill the Rangers before they were recruited. I thought that Scrozzle had built her, but that wasn't the case. Her remnant of her found a way to come back on her own will with the help of Billy. However, I wonder if other villains could find their way back on their own by other means. We could see the rise of the Machine Empire again, Darkana, the treacherous villain that kidnapped Karone when she was a kid. Just imagine, there are so many possibilities on which and how older villains could return. There were a ton of Easter eggs from the past 30 years of Power Rangers, like the Rad Bugs, Billy's flying car from the first season, Bulk and Skull being briefly mentioned with their sandwich shop. There were many locations mentioned throughout the Power Rangers history like Miranoi, Terra Venture. However, Terra Venture was destroyed and it probably became the capital of Miranoi, just like Commander Standard wanted. The Too Much Pink Energy line was a great callback. Ernie's Juice Bar was also a good Easter egg, mind you. This was used to be the hangout spot for the Rangers from the first 5 seasons. So it's nice that the production team built it as close as possible to the original. We briefly got a glimpse that we are almost in 2025 to where the series of SPD took place. We see that Adam and Aisha are still Rangers but took up more authoritative role as SPA, Space Patrol Alpha. It looks as though they are already fighting Grum and the Trubian Empire. I believe those two are putting efforts to keep the Trubian Empire far away from Earth, but if you see SPD, we all know what happens in the end. In spite of the cheesy acting, this anniversary special is what Super Mega Force should have been, honoring the past while passing the torch to the present, instead of making a mockery of it. Because the people who were behind Super Mega Force really dropped the ball on that one. I personally love Once and Always. This was a good milestone honoring the past 30 years, and by the end of writing this video, I've already seen it a 3rd time. And I hope we get a follow-up to this film and get some more development from the past Rangers and the new Legacy Ranger. That's all for today. If there's a movie, comic book, TV show, anime, video game, or special video idea you want me to talk about, write below. Always, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and may the power protect you.
You're already on or eligible for Medicare. Call now to find out how an AARP Medicare supplement insurance plan.
Maybe too much of a flex.
For class, teleporting will be clutch.
Why?
I'm sorry?
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
You shouldn't talk. It makes you sound stupid.
All right, you big lizard. Come catch these hands.